Hello, hello world. It's Friday, 24th of January 2025, and it's that time of the year again. The Western Cape Regional Gliding Competition starts with tomorrow as a practice day, and today is a practice forecast. We'll try and do these for every day next week through the competition. Starting off looking at the boundary layer winds for tomorrow, we can see we've got generally a southwesterly flow. It's not very fast. A lot of this is below 10 knots. Most of it's below 10 knots, except in the Worcester Valley itself, where there's the wind accelerates in the valley, and we have this valley flow, which will affect things close to the airfield. Looking out a bit further, we can see that if we get further away from Worcester, the winds are getting even lighter. And if we go out to the east, once we get past Swellendam, things look a bit more interesting. There's some flow coming in here. We can look at it in more detail. By 5 o'clock, the winds turn quite a lot southwest, and as you can see, the southwest winds are now reaching the Langeberg Mountains towards Swellendam. That's out here, and if we zoom out, that's along here. So from Swellendam eastwards, there's a southerly flow in the afternoon. Just looking quickly at some soundings, starting at Worcester, we can see the effect of the valley flow. That's the first thing. Second thing to note is that we have an inversion around 5,500 feet. Third thing to note is that we have a maximum temperature here that's between 35 or 36 degrees. It's very, very hot at Worcester tomorrow. Lots of options for flying. So let's look at a few. The first obvious one is to go north. Tulbach's looking good at 2 o'clock. Porterville, you can see we have a general inversion about 4,500 feet. And the winds are quite light, but they're in the right direction. Clanwilliam, Renosterhoek, and even out to Clava. This is still at 2 o'clock. Winds very light. Inversion is still there, but the direction is south of pure westerly. By 5 o'clock, Clava is killed off by this is coastal air that's come in here. Renosterhoek is looking also a bit softer, but may still be working. Once again, coastal air is showing there. Clanwilliam, same but better. By the time we get to Porterville, it's looking usefully better, because we need some energy to get us back over the mountains into the Witzenberg, and as we can see in Tulbach, it's still working. Winds are light, and they drop off with altitude, but there is still some wind in the right direction, and the inversion is still quite high. So yeah, it may slow down, but we should get home. Back to Worcester at 5 o'clock, and we can see the valley wind is streaming in quite strong, up to 20 knots by 5 o'clock, and killing off most of the thermals in the valley at the same time. You can also think about going east. That's Robertson. Just beware, this wind is a pure westerly wind at Robertson. Not very strong, and it's thermic up to quite high altitude. That's 6,000 feet. Swellendam, its wind is slowed down. It's still thermic. And if you go further out, that's Riversdale. Similar. There's an inversion around 6,000 feet, and then the wind changes. Herbertsdale, this is all at 2 o'clock. And coming back, well, Herbertsdale, you can see some coastal wind coming in southeast. Riversdale as well. And it's killing off the lift at Riversdale. And similar for Swellendam. So you probably don't want to come home too late from the east, because the coastal wind will be cutting off some of the lift there. Robertson at 5 o'clock is looking pretty impressive, although there's an interesting wind over here with the coastal and the valley winds getting mixed up, and some cloud. Just looking at that cloud, this is at 2 o'clock, we can see that there's a third option for the day. There's this cloud that's a bit inland. That is about 10,000 feet, so it's possible that you could use that. Zooming out a bit, we can see there's more cloud if you go really deep into the Karoo, and that's very high cloud base, 13,000 feet. And by 5 o'clock, there's some cloud around Swellendam going out to the east, but it's not very low. It's all high cloud. It's 5,000 feet and higher. One last comment. If you get back to Worcester around 5 o'clock, there's some convergence lines appearing in the valley, and they'll be associated with this high cloud that we saw. This is 5 o'clock on the high resolution chart. So quite a few options for tomorrow. Lots of solar energy. The winds will be not all that strong, but in the right direction for quite a few of the ridges. So fly carefully, have fun, and we will talk again tomorrow night.